everyone. I am so excited today. It is Valentine's Day, and what a great way to start this special day by introducing a very special friend of mine. Her name is Lori. Lori, hello. How are
Hello, my
you?
dearest Pina. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Lori, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, Lori is from Alberta, Edmonton, right, Lori?
Edmonton, you got it.
Awesome. And Lori is also a person with spinal muscular atrophy, like me, and it's type 2, right, Lori?
Type 2, you're absolutely right.
Awesome. And Lori is my inspiration for getting on gene therapy, Risdiplam. And Lori's been on Risdiplam for the last 2 years and 3 months, right, Lori?
That's about right.
Yeah.
And you're my inspiration. You really
Aw,
are.
aw. And why is that?
Well, look at you. You're a successful woman. You're a career woman. You've raised an
Aw,
amazing son. You are in a great marriage, and you had the courage to leave your home and pursue the treatment that you so richly deserve.
thank you so much, Lori. Honestly, if it wasn't for you and your example, and I want you to share your story in a couple of
Okay.
minutes, why or how you got on it. But if it wasn't for you and just speaking with you these last couple of years, I don't know if I really would have made this big of a move. I mean, I literally uprooted my family and went
Yes.
to a different province. And that's huge, right? And
It
not many
takes
people would do that. And I'm not saying I'm
no.
great, because I'm not. But what I am saying is it's huge. And I needed someone like you to give me that little bit of a nudge and a push and the hope. Lori, like really, you gave me hope. So please
Oh,
share your story. I would like the world to hear your age. First of all, you're close to my age. And
yes.
what convinced you to get on Risdiplam? And how did you get on it?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm almost at that age where I won't tell people my age, but I am 54 years old. And
Yeah.
honestly, it was a struggle to get on Risdiplam. I initially fought for Spinraza for 3 years. I
Mm.
even met with CADIF, which is the organization in Alberta who decides who gets what medication. I
Mm.
reached out to the health minister without any success. I even
Wow.
had a little teeny tiny protest at the legislature. And honestly, I felt like hell. I wrote letters. I was on the news twice fighting for my
Wow.
treatment. And I got nowhere, Pina. I got nowhere until I finally found out from Susie at QSMA that Roche was giving compassionate access. And I just missed it by the deadline. So I
Wow.
didn't end up with Spinraza, um, which is kind of fine because I'm not really brave enough to have spinal taps like every 3 or 4 months.
I know it.
And I'm too scared. And
Yeah.
so I finally got it. It was amazing.
Yay.
Um, the
So, Lori,
things, mhm.
you mentioned a few things that I feel that our audience should be, they may not know what they are. So I think we need to go back a little and define what it is. So, first of all, you and I are both in Canada.
Yep,
And what is CADTH, CADIS? What is it?
the witch.
What is CADIF? You said that you wrote to CADIF,
Now, Cadith,
CADTH.
now Cadith, I don't know exactly what it stands for, but they're the governing body in Alberta. So if a new drug comes to market in Canada, so if a
Yes,
new drug comes to market, they're the ones that decide who gets it and who doesn't. And
right.
so I went to them because at that point, Risdiplam was only available to those 18 and under. Now, clearly,
All right.
I'm a little older than that. So instead of writing to them, I asked for a face to face.
Mm,
And I got a face to face with them. And broke my heart, Pina, is they really didn't care. They
yeah.
really, I'm like, I'm active, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm volunteering in the community, I have a
Wow.
husband, I have 3 dogs. Like, I got a lot going on here. And
How
you
did
don't
you
really,
feel, or what? How
huh?
did you know they didn't care? How did you know that? Like, what gave you
Well,
that impression that
I
they
had my
didn't care?
I had my husband with me.
Yes.
And I said, so you're telling me that if my husband becomes a widow because my SMA progresses to the point where, you need invasive ventilation, you're more at risk for infections, pneumonia, etc., you're okay with him being a widow. Is that what you're telling me? And I know that was pretty strong and pretty abrupt, but that's just who I am. And there was dead silence, just dead silence.
Wow. That's so cold.
It was
So,
very cold.
the people on the board or CADIS that make up CADIS, are
Right?
they scientists, doctors? I mean, I guess they're a governing body of researchers. Am I right?
There's researchers, there's a pharmacist. I don't believe any of them are doctors.
Hmm. Wow.
And
Oh, and now though, you were
mhm,
saying that at the time when you got on it, Risdiplam was only funded by the province for people 18 years of age and younger. But when I was trying to pursue it and get
mhm,
on it, which was a year after you started, it was people 25 years of age and under.
they've
And
changed
that,
that in Alberta.
I see. I was in
It's,
Ontario at the time.
yeah, it's Risdiplam is 18, or not
Mhm.
18, 25 now, and
Right,
Spinraza was 18. But don't forget, my initial battle was for Spinraza. This was a little
right.
bit before Risdiplam came out. So my battle was for Spinraza. That's what I was fighting for
Hmm.
until Risdiplam came out. And as I mentioned, just under the wire, I got through the compassionate access program through Roche because Alberta still will not cover it for me. It's not an
Right,
option.
right,
And
exactly. Yeah.
Roche,
And
to their
Roche, what is Roche? A
Roche
lot
is
of
the
people
drug.
will not, they know.
Oh, Roche is a drug company that actually developed Risdiplam.
That's right. Yeah.
And to their credit, they ended the compassionate access program, but they continued it for me. And I'll tell you
I'm so
why.
happy. Yes.
Most people are not familiar with the Hammersmith test. And anything with hammer doesn't sound all that pleasant, right? But all
Yes.
it really is they tested my functionality
Hmm.
before
Yeah.
and they tested my functionality after. I don't know how they calculate their point system, but I went up 10 points. So I
That's
became
amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. And so even I was able to take the back and arms off my chair and sit unsupported, which was
Wow,
huge. Now,
that
there's
is so huge.
a couple things that I want to let people know that are considering Risdiplam is there's things you have to do to make it work, right? In order for it to work, you have to fuel your body. So what they recommend is 70 grams of protein a day, which sounds like a lot, especially since I'm a vegetarian, but it is doable. And that certainly helps the drug do its job. The other, I've noticed really small things. Tell me if this has been your experience as a lady with SMA. If you were outside in the cold, let's say -3, which is, warm for right now, would your hands curl up and not work as well?
For -3, after 5 or 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. My experience before Risdiplam was even like more pronounced. Within
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 minutes at -3, I would be very cold. Within 5 or 10 minutes, I would be unable to keep pushing my joystick. But now with Risdiplam, my hands are enduring the cold a lot better.
I found that too. Um, I took my dog for probably a good 10-minute walk, and my hands weren't affected at all. It
Mm.
was an unexpected surprise
Mm.
that my hands are working in the cold. And I wasn't even wearing mitts. And so
Awesome.
it was a special gift and unexpected. And I find some of the gains that I get
Mhm.
have been unexpected. But one thing I do want to caution people is if you're not eating properly, you're
Right.
not going to have as good of results. So, diet, um, I've been giving some physio exercises to do that I will admit I've been too busy to do. So, I got to start making that a priority.
Yeah.
Um, but those two things, and the thing is, I also have more endurance, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
my,
And speaking of that, that's what I want to
uh-huh.
touch on for a minute. At what point from the start of you getting on Risdiplam, at what point did you finally start to realize that you have greater endurance? When was it?
I'm gonna guess about 6 months ish.
Okay.
And I
Really?
mean, yeah. And
Mm.
I
Okay.
mean, for example, um, tomorrow I have a busy day, but not
Mm.
only that, I do speaking on the side. And I have a speaking engagement tomorrow night. And having a busy day and doing a speaking engagement at night would have been unthinkable before.
Mm.
I would not have had the endurance. I would have
Mhm.
had to lie down. I would have had
Mm.
to rest. But that's a big jump.
Yeah, it is. And I get it.
Mhm.
Believe me, as a person with SMA, I completely understand. Now, the nurse that is following me, and she follows all the clients in Canada that are on
Yep.
Risdiplam. I'm talking about Veronique. You know
Yeah,
her.
I know her.
Uh, Lovely person. She happens to live in my neighborhood, which is so
No.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
love
never met
it.
her, but I've spoken to her, and she told me that, or maybe it was the other nurse, the nurse for my neurological doctor, a neurologist.
Uh-huh.
She told me that it affects people differently.
Yeah.
Risdiplam works for people differently. So, for
Yeah.
example, for some people, they're going to see results right away,
Yeah.
like me. I wasn't even on Risdiplam 2 weeks, and I already had way more stamina, way more endurance. Like in 2 weeks. Now I've been on it 41 days,
Yeah.
and still, I mean, I was lifting weights like a champion yesterday. I couldn't
Oh
even
my
believe it.
goodness.
I mean, I surprised myself.
That's
Yeah, and I'm
incredible.
not able to eat a lot of protein though. I'm trying to supplement with shakes,
Good.
protein shakes, but I'm lactose intolerant. And the only lactose free protein drink is the vegan one, which tastes horrid.
Now,
I
have
just
you
can't.
tried I'm going to give you a suggestion. Have you
Yes,
tried the Vega shake? Because
Vega. Yes,
Vegas,
that's the one I'm talking about. I tried Vega a number of times. I've
yeah,
even
huh?
tried different formulas of Vega, like the
Nothing.
flavored ones. I cannot do it. I just do not like the taste. And I'm
Oh,
a
I'm
big baby
sorry,
when it comes
hon.
to taste. I know I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I really try to eat 3 or 4 meals a day, including protein.
Right?
I'm trying to do my protein shakes, but it hurts my stomach because they have lactose in them. So I'm just trying to find an alternative because this
Can I
is more important to me than anything. Yes. Go
can I
ahead.
make a suggestion on how to make a Vega shake yummy?
Yeah.
Vanilla,
Yes.
the vanilla shake, little bit of coconut milk, frozen
Okay.
berries, and
Mhm.
then you blend it up so it's like a frozen booster juice smoothie. Or
Okay.
are
I'll put
you
a
a
banana
coffee
in.
are you a coffee drinker?
I am, but I don't like coffee in my protein shakes. It turns
Okay.
it's just it's too acidic. Yeah.
Okay.
I find that
Okay.
anyway. My brother does
Okay.
that, but I can't. And the ironic thing, Lori, I don't know if I've ever told you, but here I am. I was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy
Yeah.
from the age of 2, and I was born with this degenerative disorder.
Uh-huh.
And my brother was a bodybuilder. He was training since he was 11. And even now, at the age of 51, he's still working out every day. He's like all muscle, and he's a
Wow.
fitness and training instructor. He's amazing.
And
It's
not
like
affected,
opposite.
right?
No, he's like Mr.
Wow.
Muscle. Yeah, yeah,
That's amazing.
it is.
You know, the other thing I could suggest to you, I don't
Mhm.
know if you said you're lactose intolerant.
I
Are you
am.
okay? Are you okay? Do you like nuts?
Love them.
Try the
Yeah,
Kind bar. The Kind bar is delicious. You're not
okay.
going to get as much protein as what you're going to get from a Vega shake,
Yeah,
but
I
they're
need a
extremely tasty and
okay.
it feels like you're getting a treat.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So
All right,
I've
I
al-
will.
I've also tried the protein bars, but I find they're just way too heavy. Like
Yeah, and they're
I
sort
I,
of
I
dry.
just
They're
can't.
dry. Yeah. Do you notice they're
They're
dry? They get stuck
gross.
in your throat. I know. I know.
Yeah.
Lori, so I've got a couple more questions for you.
Sure,
Um,
hun.
so I've told you that for me, it was becoming very dangerous to not get on this treatment because I
Yes.
was having swallowing issues, and the doctors were recommending a feeding tube. which
Oh,
I just don't want that. I mean, I would
no.
still be able to get the treatment even if I had a feeding
Right.
tube, but I'm
No,
sorry,
I'm with
no.
you.
It was like,
No,
no, I will
I'm
just
with you.
keep trying to eat. But it was getting very, very dangerous. And I lost a lot of weight, like a lot of weight, because I
Oh,
wasn't eating very well. Like I really did
no.
not ever because I just could not get it down. But I've noticed within 2 or 3 weeks since I started Risdiplam, I am
Uh-huh.
so blessed because for me, it started to work immediately. And my swallowing is back to normal. I mean, I'm eating
Yay.
so
Because
well
nobody
that I'm a little
nobody
concerned
wants
I'm
a
going to gain
feeding
weight.
tube.
No, forget that. And if anyone else out there um, is being told by by your doctor that you need to get on a feeding tube, please consider gene therapy first.
Uh,
Spinraza or Risdiplam are available to you if you are in Canada and you're above the age of 25 and you move to Quebec. It's not that bad.
yes.
I'm happy to coach you on relocating to Quebec. You will get home assistance. It's very easy. It's actually so easy. It was the easiest thing for me to transition here in
Wow.
Quebec. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
Wow. One thing I noticed, my husband noticed, is I've always had a really loud voice, which is
yeah,
apparently meaning that your respiratory system is working pretty well. One thing
yeah.
he noticed, much to his chagrin, is my voice is even louder now.
Oh
Like
no.
I'm not talking at full. I'm not talking at full volume now, but my voice became louder as well, which may have something to do with my respiratory health.
That is so amazing. And I think it is, Lori. And according to my neurologist,
Uh huh.
they measure your pulmonary function.
Uh
That
huh.
is how well your respiration is
Yeah.
every 6 months. And they base that value, they will use that value to base whether or not Risdiplam is working. So on June 5, I have an
Uh huh.
appointment to get my pulmonary function retested. And if it has improved, then definitely it's working for me.
That's interesting because
I
here
feel it is.
they use the Hammersmith here,
Ah,
and I don't know when I'm due for another one, but I want to caution people about something as well.
yeah,
Risdiplam is the bomb, and I there's no negative side effects. I mean, there's a few unpleasant ones, but not life threatening. But again, in order for it to work well, you have to make sure that you're eating well and taking good care of your general health, which we all should do that anyways, right? Like, shouldn't we all do
right.
that? We should all do that.
Yes.
And I have found that there are days that I'm not eating as well, and I feel the difference. So I mean, it works like amazing, but it's so important to keep your nutrition up.
Yeah, I agree. All right. And one more thing. So you
Right.
mentioned that your voice got stronger.
Oh yeah.
What else? What other improvements have you noticed and have your assistants noticed and your husband? Like
Okay.
what's the biggest improvement?
There. What's nice is before I still have my assistants help me sometimes when I'm having a busy day and I'm typing and I'm using my arms, but being able to lift a drink on my own. And
Amazing.
also, this is very important to me, is being able to go to a restaurant and eat on my own and not be
Cool.
fed and have that level of dignity back.
And independence, yes, for sure. Dignity is,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. So
I'm
I
so
think
happy.
my biggest things were is the independence,
Mhm.
my hands not freezing up, which means my poor service dog gets to go for more walks. And just again, the endurance, like I said, tomorrow night, having a busy day and doing a session at night would not have been an option for me. There's no way I would have had the endurance to do it. But now I do.
Wow, I am so, so glad. Yay. All right, Lori.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to conclude our little session now. It's probably the longest video I am posting on my YouTube channel, but
Oh,
it's
what
been
an honor.
dynamic. It's been amazing. The world gets to see two beautiful women who have spinal muscular atrophy and Canadian women. I mean, there you go.
The best.
Yes, okay. Awesome. Lori, thank you.
Thank you, Pena. I love you
All right.
lots. I
Yeah,
appreciate your friendship and your
you
kindness.
thank
And this
you.
was an absolute honor for me.
Thanks, Lori. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Anytime, Pena. Take care of
Thank
you,
you.
okay?
All right, you too.
Thanks, Pena.